know. I don't know. I haven't really been technically watching it. I've been flushing it periodically, and that's it. Okay. And if it trips, I'll reset it. Occasionally it will just trip for unknown reason.
For an unknown reason?
Well, I never checked it. I mean, I never checked the reason. All I know is that.
Well, there may be some other switches in here. There's things called low gas pressure switches and high pressure gas switches. I don't think this boiler's set up with one.
It usually happens when I turn the heat down a little bit too far or something, then I try to turn it back on. Something will set off the light there. Then I have to come down and reset it.
Okay. These are your operating controls. See this push the reset button right there?
Yeah.
This is set to activate at about 8 pounds. Okay, yeah. So if the pressure in the boiler gets up to 8 pounds, it's going to trip this and require a manual reset. Do you ever push that one? Never. Okay. All right. Well, that's basically it. 3 things I normally like to check, one way, shape, or another, to prevent a boiler explosion.
Yeah, right. We don't want one either.
The fire eye, see now, if the gas was to continue to be discharged into the boiler without a flame consuming the fuel, could cause the boiler to have a firebox explosion.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
And that's why you take that out periodically.
Right.
During
the overpressure relief prevents the boiler from exceeding its maximum allowable working pressure, design pressure.
That's in the back.
That's on the back. And these, because the water, you wonder how they could play into that. If you've ever run a wood stove, and you've ever pulled out that ash pan and got it roaring really hot, and you forgot about it, and you came back in about 15 minutes, you see that wood stove starting to glow red, and then you see it start to melt in place.
Yeah.
Well, when it loses its tensile strength, any pressure inside the boiler whatsoever can cause it to open, rupture. And when you have water that's superheated, you know, this is running, say, 15 pounds, and it is, the pressure in the boiler is suddenly decreased to atmospheric, the water will vaporize. It will change state from a water to a gas, and it expands 1,700 times its normal volume. So you'll have a blebomy, a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion, and it'll blow your boiler apart and your room.
Yeah.
So
we don't want it.
No, those are the 3 things that I think are the most important. There's other things like the controls that, this is a new boiler. If this was a 20-year installation, I would ask that you have somebody come in and calibrate those gauges and check the functionality of them. Because the boiler is dumb. This is what controls it. Turns it on and off, keeps it off.
Right.
And if those aren't working right, then the boiler is just going to do what it's going to do. If it gets stuck in the on position, that's where we have trouble.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have boiler inspectors to make sure this stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm looking good to you.
You're looking good for another 2 years.
All right. Good. So now I got a little educational tape on the operation of my boiler. Mr. Bacon, thank you.
Okay.